So you downloaded the Android 14 beta on your Pixel series phone, and all was wonderful until you realize it's a beta product and sometimes there are bugs. Yes. So I cautioned folks about this in my hit video yesterday. Hit video. Anyway, so I cautioned people. I said, look, put a little asterisk next to this. If you're putting a beta software on your primary phone, there's a certain amount of risk involved because, well, it's in beta. That means that not everything is kosher yet. It's not all perfect. Now, here's a little thing you might want to know about Android beta. So it does beta 1, beta 2, beta 3, and I think even beta 4. But anyway, so basically by the time we get to the third iteration of the beta this summer, it should reach what's called platform stability, which means that that's a stable version. It's good. They got all the kinks out of the system as they could, and that's the version they're going to roll with once they launch the official version. It's just letting all the developers know, hey, we've reached platform stability. You can update all your apps. Everything is as good as it's going to get. So we're not near that right now. The public beta just opened yesterday. And to answer another question, I had a comment. Someone's like, man, I wish Google would make the beta available for like OnePlus and Samsung. They do. But here's the thing. When it comes to a Samsung phone, they use One UI. And when it comes to an Android, when it comes to a OnePlus phone, they use Oxygen OS. So what has to happen is Google releases the beta build, and then those guys have to take it and update their own software, and One UI will have their own beta build, Oxygen OS will have its own beta build. So that stuff comes. The thing is that Google gets it first, and that's one of the great reasons to have a Google Pixel phone. You get everything usually first, especially when it comes to the OS. Like, of course, they put the operating system out first. Samsung has lately been beating them for quite a while when it comes to getting things patched and fixed and updated, security patches, things like that. Anyway, so back to the beta build. Yeah, so there are some problems. Now, I haven't really noticed any that make it unusable. Now, when I first started using it, I did notice I tried to change the wallpaper and it crashed once or twice, but I reset the phone and it seems to be working fine. Like, I changed my background. This is the first time I've changed my background since I got this phone. This is my Pixel 6. And I really love this phone, by the way. I know that it had some issues. Some folks have some heartburn, but I love the way that it looks. Like, I think this is a beautiful looking phone, and I like this design. I like this more industrial, less polished, less rounded design than the Pixel 7. Like, if I could just get updated internals on this, I'd use it for a long time. Anyway, so I've still got this. This is what I put my Android 14 beta on. So I did have a problem with that. I had some folks that were saying that the camera was crashing. Like, I'm not having that issue. Camera turns on, opens up fine for me. Some people were saying it was just showing like a white screen. There was actually an article somebody had put out talking about some known bugs. I'll read a few off. So general, various stability, battery, or performance issues. Well, yeah, duh. And that's another thing. Yes, Android 14 is supposed to be better on the battery, but yeah, it could cause some problems right now. Everything's not optimized yet. Also, just put this in the back of your mind. Whenever you get a new version of Android, all this good stuff, we've got the adaptive battery. It's got to learn your preferences, all that good stuff. Like, a lot of stuff changes when you get a whole new operating system update. So if you had good battery, which, I mean, I've had okay battery with the Pixel 6 phone. Some people say it's not very good. If you were having what was, nominal okay battery for you, that's likely to change, especially for the first couple of days. So allow that to work some of the kinks out. But yeah, other thing, users with accessibility needs, release might not be appropriate for daily use. And that's another important thing to put out there. If you really, really, really rely on your phone, like, I know a lot of people rely on their phone, like they really, really rely on their phone. But if you're like, this is your only phone, it has to work in like complete pristine working order, no issues, don't update to the beta. And this goes back to the whole principle of this video. The beta, we'll get the official eventually. Like, there's not a whole lot you're really missing out on here. I mean, there's some cool stuff. And mostly when it comes to the beta builds, a lot of enthusiasts, a lot of people, and a lot of folks who like the Google phones really like to be able to do it. They like to opt into the beta. They like to get the new features first. They like to test things out. They like to have that little shiny gold badge on their, on their shirt that they believe in their mind that makes them special. And they like to get the cool stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, nothing wrong with it at all. But just putting a little cautionary note out there, it's not going to run 100%. Maybe it runs 99%. And honestly, it seems like pretty smooth operationally. I mean, especially with what we dealt with Android 12, Android 13. This has been one of the more pedestrian, like, not too many issues that I've noticed so far, especially with the QPR1 beta. So I think we're in an okay place. It's neat to see the new stuff. If you have two phones that are Pixels, then go for it. And I gotta put a word out there. I thought that it started with the Pixel 5. Apparently, the Pixel 4a 5G is capable of getting this. So yeah, I guess that's the latest one. I don't think the regular 4a. I think this is the 4a 5G. Either way, last couple of iterations of the phone are capable of testing this out, and yeah, you can go ahead and get it. You can try it out. You can watch my previous video. I got a link right here. A little thing will pop up and it'll go through the instructions, but basically just go to the Android developer page. If you've ever been in the beta before, it's pretty easy to opt in. I mean, you can just Google Android 14 developer beta opt in. It'll take you right there, but there's a link in the description for it as well. So you can click on that, opt in, go do your over-the-air update, all that jazz, and it takes about an hour. It took me about an hour for it to download, install, all that stuff, which honestly it's kind of funny because it's about 2 gigabytes versus like the 30 megabyte patch to get updated to the April security patch. They take about the same amount of time. I'm not the biggest fan of how the update system works on the Pixels. I know it's designed so that you can continue to do what you're doing. It's less intrusive on your life, but I think they should have an option that accelerates it. Like they should have a, okay, run in the background, do your thing, update mode, and then they should have a, look, I just want to update this now and get it over with mode. I don't like to sit there and have everything running, and another problem is it a lot of times the updates will routinely pause on their own and you have to restart them. It'll pick up from where it was at, but anyway, yeah, there are some other things in here. I mean, there's going to be some issues. I think there's some issues with video playback, picture-in-picture, and a couple of things. Largely, it's small stuff, and maybe some app compatibility because the developers, and developer beta already came out. Like, developer beta came out like a month or two ago, so largely, a lot of the apps are already updated to support all the Android 14 stuff, but it's just one of those things. You may find an instance you run into an app that has stability issues. You may run into a function in the phone that has stability issues, but that's just part of the thing. And being part of the beta is actually kind of cool because you can test stuff, right? You're testing out the beta. You can provide feedback to Google and let them know, hey, this is crashing, this is a problem, I ran into this issue, and that's what it's for, really. The idea of having a beta is putting an operational product out there so you can get in, you can run it and use it as it is, they'll update stuff, and then we'll get updates when the new versions come out and all that, but you can be part of the process. So don't look at bugs as being like, oh my gosh, this is ruining my experience. Take that as an opportunity to reach out to Google and say, hey, this is what I ran into, this is the issue I had, this is how it happened, please fix it. And then you can be part of what makes Android 14 all that much better for everybody else once it's available. I mean, the more beta testers they have, the more people providing feedback, the better for the end product whenever it comes to the overall putting Android 14 out. So very cool. If you want, go ahead and get it. I've got a link in the description. Again, I caution hesitancy on this. Just look, get it at your own risk. It seems to be mostly okay. There will be issues. There will be something inevitably you'll probably run into, and that's okay. It's in the beta. When the next version of the beta comes out, it'll probably fix most of that stuff. I mean, we should be at platform stability here in a couple of months, so it's a pretty quick and fast process. It's kind of fun. It's a neat thing to do. If you've got a secondary phone, that's the best case scenario. If it's your primary phone, I caution hesitancy, but you know, you do you. YOLO, right? You only live once. So gonna wrap this one up. That's all I got in this one. Android 14, cool stuff so far. Go forth and prosper, right? And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, any bugs that you're running into, please, put them here. I'll try and get the word out as I can, or at least it puts it there so people can see it if they come by and watch the video. If you enjoyed the video, if you like the stuff, if you like Pixel videos, you're most certainly in the right place. Take your shoes off, kick up your feet, hit the like and subscribe button, all that jazz, notification bell, and yeah, that's all I got. So, as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to watch this. It means a lot to me. Thank you for your support. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys next time.